I'm here with Andreas of Sepultura to talk about The Cloud of Unknowing, the new EP that comes out April 24th on Nuclear Blast, but also to talk a little bit about their North American tour that they're embarking on very soon. How's things going with you?
Great, man. Very excited about this release. Doing some interviews and it's very positive reaction for the first single. Getting ready to go to Australia now for a tour, 6 shows. And this is the last year, finally.
And speaking of being the last year, this EP I think it caught everybody off guard. It caught me off guard. I didn't think there was going to be any new music from you guys coming out,
Yeah,
and
me
then you
too.
guys dropped this EP. Did it surprise you that there was still some more creativity left in the tank for one more release?
Yeah, I mean, when we announced the farewell tour, we didn't have any plans to release anything new. Of course, we are recording every show. We are building this live album that's coming out later, but we never thought about having new stuff coming out. At the same time, having an EP in our career was always like a wish. In the metal history, you have very important EPs, at least for myself. I mean, Arm and Dangerous or Out in the Chapel or even Creeping Death. You have those singles, EPs that very special, like Chemical Warfare, for instance, one of the best Slayer songs, and it is from an EP. So it's something that we are fulfilling our wishes before we end. I think it's a great feeling, to have this possibility. And it came out very spontaneously because when Grayson joined the band, he brought, of course, new ideas and new taste in drumming and the connection we had personally and professionally, the chemistry, sound checks we started playing around and coming up with riffs and some cells and stuff. But we felt there was some chemistry there and the wish to do something. I have so many stuff written in different demos and stuff, so I collect some stuff that I had. We were at the 70,000 tons of metal last year. That it's from Miami to Jamaica and then come back to Miami. So since we were there, we know the studio called Criteria Studios. It's one of the historical studios in the rock and roll history. Black Sabbath record Heaven and Hell there, for instance. So we had this chance to go there for 10 days and work our music. We didn't have any release date. We didn't have the name for the album. We didn't have a cover. We just thought about music, jamming. We got together in the studio. For instance, the song Sacred Books we wrote in the studio, spontaneously. So it was something not planned, but at the same time the opportunity came and we seized the opportunity and did it, and felt great.
The first thing I noticed when I was listening to the EP is that it sounds like a very different Sepultura, a lot more proggy, if you will. And that caught me by surprise. But at the same time, I think if you're going to go and experiment with something, an EP perhaps is the best way to do it because you're not obligated to create a consistent experience throughout an overall record. You're a little bit more able to be completely creative and completely free. Do you feel that way? And did it surprise you that that you guys had this sound within you?
That's true. I mean, the EP gives a little freedom in that sense, and especially the way we did it without any planning, basically. It was very spontaneous, because of the contest of the situation we had. We made the best effort, and it was great to have something with Grayson, to put it together. And Grayson is a jazzy player, heavy metal, but he has a different spice, a different taste, and we explored that. It was great. I mean, music is that, it's a pure expression. And what is Sepultura if not what we do today? We cannot compare Sepultura to so many albums in the past. Which past we gonna copy? At the same time, it's all together in one idea of the past, and then we can go there and try to, that past is always with us. I mean, we did that, right? So it comes across for what we do, regardless of what we do. So the freedom of being Sepultura and creating a new Sepultura every day is that. So it's great that we have this chance in our final tour to have the opportunity to play new stuff as well on the show. It's great for us, and it's great for the fans, I guess, and it's great for the whole overall situation. So I never did an album like that with that type of freedom, including this EP idea and all the, you know, the situation we had in the middle of the tour without too much planning. So it was great. I mean, I love to work like that. I think it's a pure expression of art, regardless of what the business stereotype releases demands. You know, oh, we have to have an album, we have to have every 18 months, you know, a tour and stuff. You know, fuck that. I mean, we are free to do whatever we want, and that's the beauty of conquering that, you know, as a band. It's amazing.
So now, having said all of that, the freedom that you enjoyed, the creative output that this EP offers, the different direction and sound that we get from this EP, even Derek's vocals on this EP are very unique to these songs.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
so did that make you feel a little bit bittersweet because you're like, man, maybe it would be cool to do one more record like this?
Everything is happening because of the farewell. We cannot forget that. You know, the contest of the farewell created this opportunity. So we cannot deny that. We cannot fool ourselves and think it's a different situation. It's not. We are doing the farewell. This is our last year, and the whole contest of the EP it's inside of that. You know, we'll in a normal situation, we would be working on a new album. And that's the stuff that suffocated me when we had the first meeting after the Quadra tour and stuff, the meeting band manager and stuff. All right, the manager said, oh, we have to think about the new album and stuff, and we have this schedule and whatever stuff. Stop, please stop right there. Let me breathe. And then, I came up with the idea, let's do a farewell tour. Let's go the opposite way. Why I have to do another album now? Just because what? We have the total control of our time, to deal and to enjoy ourselves. I don't want to be a slave of myself. I don't want to be a slave of a situation. Andreas Kisser from Sepultura have to do another album. No, I don't have to do another album. We have options to enjoy ourselves and to make sense of what we do. I love what I do, and I want to keep that way. So the farewell tour was amazing. It is amazing. It's one of the best things we ever did. And the EP is inside that contest, of the farewell to say goodbye. And we couldn't do something like that without this, So it's not a bitter taste. It's the way it is. And we are enjoying ourselves, It's a fantastic feeling. There's no sadness. It's just like a thankful, very appreciate feeling to everything that happened to Sepultura, the ups and downs, and to be here and to be able to do that. It's a great.
I think you guys earned it, to be honest with you. I mean,
Thank you.
I don't think you guys owe anybody, including the fans. I don't think you guys owe anybody anything. You can do whatever you want. You guys have earned that right. And I think this EP is a little bit of that. I'm telling you, it blew me away because I was not expecting this. You know what I mean? So
No,
this
that's
is
great. I mean, I always say the Sepultura fan in general, I mean, they expect the unexpected from us. We always came with something new because we are living the moment. We live, we travel, we know, we meet new people, new bands, and new music. And why not put that in our contest of life, and not be locked in some certain boxes from the past, trying to repeat situations that don't exist anymore.
speaking of not repeating, but it's always important to acknowledge. I don't know if you've realized this, but Schizophrenia is 40 years old next year in April. It's an iconic record, and I'm sure it's a record that has a special place in your heart. When you look back at that album and you look at now this EP, if you could describe that journey, how would you describe
Dude,
it?
it's interesting question because in a sense, it's a full circle. I think we came back to Schizophrenia because Schizophrenia is kind of like a prog album.
Proggy. Yeah.
Totally prog, because there's acoustic classical guitar, there's Inquisition Symphony with the idea of instrumental stuff with classical vibes, and To the Wall, and it's like very proggy atmosphere because we put it everything we had, especially myself coming from a different world. My first album with Sepultura, first song we ever wrote was From the Past Come the Storms. our attempt to do our chemical warfare, like the structure wise and stuff, and we took it from there. From there we built that album, and it's a fantastic album till today. And in a sense, this Cloud of Unknowing have a few elements of that, not a fearless atmosphere. Let's do whatever we feel like it, and who cares about criticism? We're gonna get anyway, So might as well do what we want.
Might as well do what makes you happy.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, if that's going to be the case. Grayson feels like he's been with the band longer than what he's been with the band. Do you get
No
that same
shit.
vibe?
Oh yeah, man. He perfectly fit because Grayson's a very special guy, man, in a sense that he's very honest to himself. He lived the moment and he respect every aspect of what he does with passion and respect and love and with technique, and he's always playing, researching the Brazilian music, to understand the different rhythms, and that's so cool, that's very inspiring. No wonder I felt that we could write again, as a band, because he's a big part of it, that's for sure.
For you going forward, once this farewell tour is done, I have a feeling music will always be a part of your life. That's going to be
Oh
something
yeah,
regardless, Sepultura or no Sepultura. I don't
of
think you can ever
course.
walk away from who you are.
Never, never. Music's part of my life. It's what I am, and it's not because I'm stopping with Sepultura that I'm gonna abandon music. That's not the point. Sepultura, we are doing a specific move or a specific choice, because of Sepultura, But there's so many things happening already. I have De La Tierra, I have a radio show with my son here, I have a band with him, and so many other possibilities, doing soundtracks, and I wanted to explore more of the acoustic world. Like I'm studying like crazy classical guitar and techniques and stuff. I want to get better on that respect, on the instrument, and explore different possibilities, with heavy music and in a different way, I hope so. But I don't want to decide anything now. I wanted to enjoy the moment, to enjoy the tour, to enjoy the special feeling, and when it comes, I'll be able to choose whatever next step will be. But I want to enjoy myself doing other stuff. I want to enjoy my family a little more, to stay home. I'm drawing, I'm painting, exploring different feelings artistically, so it's exciting. It's a little scary, but also exciting, when you have freedom to go, it's fantastic.
When it comes to being on the road and touring, what do you think you're going to miss the most? The friendships, the playing, the cities? What is it for you that makes sometimes touring a little bit more bearable, considering it's not that glamorous? If people think it's a glamorous lifestyle, it's not.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss the chaos of airports and lines and the visa consulates and all the bureaucratic way of traveling. The beauty of being a touring musician, when you arrive with an instrument in a plane and you are treated like a fucking terrorist because you have a fucking instrument to get and each place is a different world, and but I don't know. I don't think in those terms. I'm not gonna suffer in something that I will miss now. I don't know if I will miss. you
You're
know.
living in the
Uh,
moment.
yeah, I'm just gonna deal with my past the same I deal with my past today, and it's always today. Regardless of regrets or anxiety for the future, it's always today. You are always here. So you have to deal with yourself, and it's great to have certain aspects of the past that you learn to be better, to evolve. I quit alcohol for 6 years now. It's the best move I ever did in my life. I start eating better, I start exercising, meditating, doing therapy, taking care of my mental health, and doing stuff, to grow older so I can go on stage as long as I can, to play and to enjoy and to express and to connect with people and stuff. I think art is that, it's a self-awareness. That's why people go to a museum and watch a paint a painting and cry without explaining why, because so powerful. There are frequencies, colors, and atmosphere and stuff, and I like to explore that. Art is that. I think it's a privilege to be an artist that I can go, you see like Buddy Guy, for instance, almost 100 years old, man, like jamming and playing and having a good time, inspiring. It's amazing. It's beautiful.
You've achieved something that many men have fought many years to achieve, which is immortality through your music. You'll forever be remembered for your music, and I
Who
think that
knows?
is, I think it's such a great thing because generations to come will still hear what you've made in the past, what you're making today. Does that ever sit on you? Like you ever think about that? That it's not just your kids and their kids that will remember who you are. The world will always remember who you guys are.
To be honest, I don't care, man. I mean, who cares? I mean, memory is something very specific, very unique. And then we have a tendency to have this collective memory, very much influenced by history and the media in general, which is like 99% lies. And, like weird interpretations of the past and the cosmos and science and religion and stuff. And who cares? I mean, I care about now. And each one of the ones alive after I'm gone or Sepultura is gone for good will have their own relationship with their past, or with Sepultura, with Metallica or Black Sabbath or whatever who is. So I don't care. It's like that's freedom. If you don't want to remember me, that's fine. I guess. I mean, it is up to you, right? And that's freedom, freedom of choice, freedom of like thinking by yourself, and not really to be connected too much with dogmas and in artificial intelligence to define what is what. I think the cloud of unknowing talks about that. It is, you don't need all the paraphernalia like crucifix and saints and all the symbolism to have a straight connection, a spirituality connection with God, or whatever you want to call. That's a name, actually, the Cloud of Anointing, a name of a Christian movement back in the 1400s that questioned that. Why we need all that to have our own connection. Each one of us has the capability to have a straight connection without all this bureaucratic, political institution called religion. you know and we go through that in life, many aspects. I mean, through media and through history, trying to define what a people is or what a region are, and we see how the world react to that with war and stupidity and division and building more walls than ever. We were talking about Berlin Wall like a few years ago, and now we have the triple or quadruple walls around the world. So I guess art and music, it's they have a mission really to connect people and to respect the differences and not fight because we are different. Not trying to prove each one side is better than the other, because that's stupidity. That's totally ignorance. We are what we are. We are part of this planet, so let's enjoy.
I agree 100%. You guys going to embark on your last North American tour. You're playing close to Toronto. You're going to be in London, Ontario. The lineup is killer, by the way, with Exodus, Biohazard, and Tribal Haze.
Yeah.
Absolutely killer lineup. But to be honest with you, you guys have picked killer lineups throughout this farewell tour
Oh
everywhere that
yeah.
you guys have played.
Oh
So
yeah.
what was the thought process for you in terms of who you wanted to bring with you?
Dude, we have friends, many friends. We like to tour with people that we like, we love, we admire. And that's what we did. We went after them through managers or booking agent, or even straight talking to them, and organizing this. It's fantastic to have our brothers, man, on the road. People that we enjoy being around. Touring is not an easy endeavor. You have to really to be focused and have a nice relationship all around, and it's great. I feel so privileged to have so many friends that we gathered and we cultivated around this last 40 years, and now to celebrate with them, it's amazing. I can't wait, really. It's going to be a fantastic year for us, and that's the way, even better than we planned, to have that feeling of celebration and thankfulness, to everything that happened to us.
One last question for you, because I've always had this on the back of my mind, and every time we chatted, I've never asked you this. What's your favorite Sepultura riff to play live? Do you have one?
Wow, that's a hard one. I guess the newer stuff, it's always more exciting. I compare the new riff from the place, which I love to play that riff, to Troops of Doom or Roots. It's unfair. Because I played those riffs like so many times. It's like countless times, and compared to something new. So I guess the place, this new riff that start the song, it's really my favorite now, because we never played live, so it's exciting to have that opportunity now.
Well, and on that note, Andreas, I'm not going to say goodbye. I'm going to say see you later. And
Fuck yeah, man.
see you later. And enjoy this last year on the road with Sepultura. Enjoy these shows. The North American tour, like I said, the package is killer. I mean, I don't think you could have picked a better lineup than that for this farewell tour. So
Nice.
have fun out there. Enjoy
Amazing.
yourself. Thanks for throwing us one last curveball, and I agree with you 100%. The more I listen to this EP, the more I think about schizophrenia. The two
Nice.
kind of really tie in together really well.
That's a cool connection, man, that I didn't think about up to now, and it's very interesting.
I'm glad that I put
Thanks
that
for
in your
that.
mind. Take care, man. All the best.
All right. Thank you.
See ya.
Ciao.